Hello, this is Happy Vanna Pokemon Podcast with your hosts, Dan and Nick. We talk about everything Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and today, we're gonna we're gonna look at the price of the Raichu deck from last episode, and we're gonna talk about how you can improve it for when rotation finally comes around. We're gonna open up another pack as we do every time, and we're also gonna go over the Reshiram Charizard Battle Deck, the League Battle Deck as it says on the box.
Yeah, now we didn't have anybody post any comments from last week. So whoever posts this week in a comment with the pick of your energy will win the prize code from last week and from this week. And we'll just keep carrying it over until we get some comments and somebody answering. I do want to give a shout out to my good buddy Scott. He's the one that got me hooked on Pokemon. He taught me how to play. I then again taught my kids how to play, and he taught me how to play with some standard original Pokemon, the base set, and doing some texting with Scott. He's still playing standard. Well, not standard, but he's playing the base set Pokemon. So he sent me a picture of him and some of his buddies still playing base set Pokemon. So you keep going, Scott. Keep playing that Pokemon. Hopefully one day you'll advance to the league battle decks and start playing some serious Pokemon with some of the newer cards because it's a lot of fun. I know it's not the same, but it is quite fun, and Nick here can attest to that.
Oh yeah,
What a blast we have.
yeah.
So wanted to give a shout out to him, and I just want to say Happy Father's Day to any fathers that do listen.
Oh yeah.
Father's Day's coming up, and this league battle deck is maybe a good idea to buy your dad so he has the advantage over you playing Pokemon. So with that in mind, we're going to get started with our topic from last week, that Pikachu deck that we had.
I'm gonna say real quick, your dad always needs Pokemon cards. Your dad, he needs that little bit more spice in his life of Pokemon to really carry him. It's a lot of fun. Is all I'm really trying to say. And get your dad some Pokemon cards for Father's Day.
So get dad's Pokemon cards for Father's Day. This is not a commercial, just we love Pokemon.
Yeah.
So let's get with that the Pikachu deck, okay, Nick?
All right. So today I was looking over the Raichu deck, and so I on TCG Player, I made a list of all the prices, and so the total of the deck, excluding energy, if you're just gonna buy the entire deck straight off of TCG Player, is $43.83, and that's really a fairly good price because that averages at about a dollar per card, because that's 44 cards.
And probably if you did buy it on TCG Player, they'd probably throw in the energy so you wouldn't have to really worry about that. So,
Yeah, energy, it's not that hard to come by. It's pretty cheap. I don't see why. I don't think it'd be that hard to get as some of the other cards in the deck.
yeah, most of your regular gaming stores would carry energy and probably be able to buy it easy too. Usually it's like a dime a card too, so you're saying with the energy, probably another $2 in energy you're looking at. So you're looking at your deck of how much was it again?
43.83.
So you're saying 40, so $44 will round up,
Yeah.
and then another $2, so $46. You're looking at $46 for a good Raichu deck that is very competitive and very, very well structured. With that being said, I did play a lot of that Raichu deck. You?
Oh yeah, I always play the Raichu deck. That's my go-to. That's my one and only.
Well, I didn't. I tried some other stuff in it, and nothing really seems to work well as the way it plays. I tried the Toxtricity V in there. He didn't really seem to fit. I also tried the regular Toxtricity. He didn't seem to fit. So what do we got that we can put in there?
I mean, I think it's good as is. It's cost-effective, and it works. It gets the job done.
I tried the speed energy. That just slows down the deck because if you
Yeah.
only have that, you're not pulling out that energy like you need to.
Yeah.
I did put boss's orders in. That does help the deck, but then it hinders it too sometimes when you're trying to play a Vulkner and trying to get that card out. So there is a hit and miss with that one.
Yeah.
You know, with the coin flip, yeah, because we're taking out the Pokemon catcher to put the boss's order in, so we're trading the item for the
supporter. Yeah.
Not always the best.
I mean, it's circumstantial, really.
Right. It really is, and it tends to hinder you sometimes. It tends to make the game better, but overall, I think it's a well-made deck all around, and I don't think you could really go wrong with picking up these cards. It's a deck that's going to be playable for a little while still. Some cards are going to fall out of rotation when rotation comes, but hopefully we can revise it and bring it back so it's playable again. And we can talk about that when rotation comes and see what cards we got to take out and see what cards we need to do to make it better and restructure it so we can play it still, because it's a great deck.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun playing it. It's definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite of all time. And I think that's all that we really need to say about the Raichu deck.
I think so.
Ready to get into the pack?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think any other GXs really play into that Raichu deck like the Reshiram.
Yeah.
Which one?
Reshiram Zekrom.
Reshiram Zekrom. I don't think any other one really plays into that. So I think that's really your best play overall.
Yeah.
You could play a welder in there. That might help you out too. If you get that fire energy early. I haven't tried it. I just kind of thought about it because he is but then it's taking something else out of your deck.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah, and you can play it on the Reshiram, but then again, you're only playing one fire, so maybe it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely worth a shot.
Yeah, it's something to think about.
Alrighty, let's get into the pack.
Let's get into the pack. Here we go. We're opening the pack today. So we are opening another pack of Rebel Clash because it is the newest, the latest, and greatest of packs. And I am going to guess today... Ooh, I'm going with grass.
I'm going with steel.
Here we go. All right.
Alrighty.
Okay, so now we're going to get into our cards, and Nick is going to read off our first card, and we're going to go from there.
So first we have Tranquil. It has 80 HP. It's colorless, and it's we saw this card in the Zacian starter deck, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. We go over it in that video. Should we go over it again now, or should we just go on to the next one?
Oh, right. Yeah, and he is, he's stage 1. Yeah, like Nick said, we're not going to go over it again because he was in the previous conversation, so we're going to skip on to the next Pokemon.
Metacham. Now, I think we also went over Metacham in a previous episode.
Yeah, but he wasn't in a deck, so let's just go over him again.
Right.
I'm sure he was in one of our packs that we opened, but...
Alrighty, so he's a stage 1. He has 110 HP. He's a fighting type. His first attack for 1 fighting energy is Yoga Kick, 40 damage, and this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. And then his second attack, 3 colorless, Psychic, 60 damage, and it does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. He's weak to Psychic. He doesn't have a resistance, and his retreat cost is 1.
Now he's a stage 1, so...
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good.
Yeah, it's a common, uncommon card,
Yep.
Next we got a Morgrim. Also, cards are repeating, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that happens.
So, we'll go over him because he wasn't in a deck. Stage 1, 90 HP, Darkness. For 1 Darkness energy, Bite, which is 30 damage. And then for Darkness and 2 colorless, False Surrender, 60 damage. And this attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So, he's alright. Next we have the Caterpie, or Caterpie as some people call it.
Caterpie, really?
I've heard like one YouTuber call it Caterpie before.
Okay.
I prefer Caterpie.
Maybe he's Australian.
Maybe.
He's Australian, mate.
Maybe.
And I can tell you it's Caterpie.
Maybe. That would make sense. See, you never know. So
I do never know. All right, let's go through them real quick.
He has a 50 HP, grass type. Ability, Adaptive Evolution. This Pokemon can evolve during the first turn or the turn you play it. During your first turn or the turn you play it. And for one, colorless energy, Gnaw does 10 damage. I've seen this card played in a fair deck with the Butterfree, because it just kind of sets up real quick with the Metapod and Butterfree.
Right.
It's like it has a Forest of the Giant Plants kind of feel.
Yep.
And if you don't know what the Forest of the Giant Plants is, it lets you evolve on your first turn or right away. But that card, I believe, is banned. I'm not sure if it's still banned, but last I checked it was.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm not sure if I said this. He's weak to fire, and his retreat is 1. Alright, let's move on. So next we have a basic Pokemon, 80 HP. It's Psychic type. It's a Galarian Corsola. And has 1 Psychic Energy. For 1 Psychic Energy, it does Cursed, Drop, and put 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. So a good, cheap spread card if you're just starting out and you're trying to make a spread deck. This isn't bad. It's not the greatest, but it's cheap, so it'll be easy to get a hold of for sure. It's in Common. It's weak to Darkness, resistant to Fighting, and its retreat cost is 2. So it's a little bit bulkier, but it's your choice if you want to play him, really. So.
Yeah, right? Definitely your choice.
Next, we have a basic Pokemon, 60 HP, Fire type. It's Litwick. For 1 Fire Energy, it has Scorch. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Weak to Water, and its retreat cost is 1, colorless. So, I mean, not much to be said about Litwick.
Nope, not a whole lot.
Next, we have Shinx. And Electric type, 60 HP. For 1 Electric Energy, under pressure, 10 damage. And if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, this attack does 50 more damage. I want to say we did come across him before, but it's bound to happen if you're opening up the same pack every time. So next we have Roly-Coly, 70 HP, Fighting type. 1 colorless energy, Ram, 10 damage, weak to grass. Tree cost is 2. Not much to be said about him. Next, we have a Mandibuzz, 120 HP. Oh, this is reverse hollow, by the way. 120 HP, darkness type. He's a stage 1. His first attack for 1 darkness energy is Bone Rush. Does 30 damage and flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 30 damage for each heads. So that attack depends on your luck, really.
Right? It's all about a coin flip.
And next, for 2 darkness energy, is Blindside. This attack does 100 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. Don't apply weakness or resistance for bench Pokemon. This will work well in your spread deck because it can do the 100 damage to any Pokemon with damage counters on it.
Right.
So it's really good for just getting Pokemon off the bench and clearing out your opponent.
Sure enough.
It's weak to Electric, resistant to Fighting, and its retreat is 2.
Nice.
Our final card is Cramorant. 110 HP, Water type. He's a basic. For 1 Water Energy, his attack is Dive. It does 20 damage and flip a coin if heads. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon. So that's a luck attack. It's all or nothing there. Could be down to the wire if you play the Cramorant.
Right.
And next, for 3 colorless, is Hydro Pump, 50 and then plus. And this attack does 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's similar to the Medicham. And it's weak to Electric, resistant to Fighting, and its retreat cost is 1.
Alright. And now, one of the things I don't think we mentioned, we get these code cards, and generally, if you get a white code card, usually it means you're going to get a secret rare or a hollow for your final card. Now, if you get a green code card, it means you're just getting a regular rare and you're getting a reverse hollow. So that one was a green code card. Our other 2 from our previous episodes were both white.
Yeah, amazing luck. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, so once in a while that'll happen. We have run into bizarre packs where you get multiple rares in a pack, Those are far and few between, but it happens.
Yeah, Pokemon isn't perfect.
It happens. So we enjoy that too. So with that being said, that's our pack for the week. Please comment on what type of energy you think it is. I guessed grass today.
And I guess steel.
Okay.
Remember, the prize has doubled.
Oh, and last week the energy was steel. So
yeah.
Neither one of us got it. We didn't have anybody comment to say they got it either. It's a fun little game, so we want to play it. So please comment with what your guess is, so we can play with, so everybody can play with us. The more people we get to play, the better it is. It's fun to guess the code.
Yeah, we love to give away codes too.
Right, I love to give away codes, and we play it every time we open a pack, no matter if we're opening a pack of Rebel Clash or if we're opening a pack of
Sun and Moon Base.
Sun and Moon Base, right? Because that's when they started doing the energy, so that's why we do it.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of fun opening our packs. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to our Reshiram and Charizard GX League Battle Deck. Dun dun dun.
How exciting.
Well, very exciting. So, the first card in this deck...
Wait, have you been practicing your sound effects?
I have not been practicing my sound.
It sounded like it.
Oh. Oh, well, I haven't been. So, this deck consists of very, very few Pokemon. So, you might start off with a couple mulligans and then finally get into the game. But the way it's going to play out, it's going to be a quick moving game. You're going to be able to load up your Pokemon real fast with the energy and do a whole lot of damage real quick.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go out and buy a pre-made deck, this is the one I'd probably buy.
Right?
Because there's just looking at it, I'm excited to get into it, and you'll probably see why this is the one.
This is the one. Okay, so our first card is the Charizard Braxian GX, the tag team. He is a hit point of 270 HP. Like I said, tag team. His first attack costs 1, 2, 3 fire and 1 colorless energy. Brilliant Flare for 180. You may search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So,
wow.
Not bad. It's basically knocking out most base Pokemon. It isn't going to knock out your tag teams.
Yeah, but you could get whatever 3 cards you want.
That's true. That's true.
Which is that could be extremely helpful. I mean, just getting any 3 cards you want out of the deck.
Right.
Possibilities are only limited to 60 cards, maybe a little less, but still, it's your whole deck.
Right. So that'll help you out right away.
Next, it only has 1 attack in the GX attack. Its GX attack is Crimson Flame Pillar GX, and it costs 1 fire energy, and it's attach 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon in any way you like. If this Pokemon has 1 extra energy attached to it, in addition to this attack's cost, your opponent active Pokemon is now burned and confused.
Wow, burned and confused.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're aware, but the rules of burned is you take the 20 damage, then you flip the coin. If heads, you're not burned anymore. If tails, you're continuously burned. And you can retreat out of it. And then with confused, it's you flip a coin if you want to attack. Do you need to flip a coin if you want to retreat?
No.
You can retreat out of it, and if you get heads, you successfully attack. If you get tails, that Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. I was never really a fan of the confused rules because it's always been super annoying to me, and I'm very unlucky most of the time, or at least that's how it feels like.
Right, and you're basing it on a coin flip. Can you get the coin flip? Can you not get the coin flip? 50-50. You can also roll dice, because this League Battle set does come with some dice, so that we'll talk about a little later. So you will have dice to roll if you do have the League Battle deck set. So, It's a good looking card. It has Charizard on there, and it has Braixen. Like we said, Charizard still being played.
Yeah,
Charizard is a staple in almost everything. I mean, we're
he's
talking about
lasted through the
Charizard.
ages.
Yeah, we're talking about Charizard. So that's where we're at.
All right, let's move on to our next card.
Oh, our next card?
Yeah, it's our next card is Charizard and Reshiram and Charizard GX. It's a tag team with 270 HP, fire type. Its first attack is Outrage. For a fire and a colorless, it does 30 damage, and this attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So for 2 energy, you're doing theoretically 290 damage maximum. Devastating.
Devastating. Right? But you do got to take some damage. You can also, there are also cards you can play on there so that you can take more damage, such as the...
I mean, there may be a few cards that let you move damage counters around.
No, there is the...
the Big Charm.
The Big Charm. Is it the Heart Charm or is it the Big Charm?
I'm pretty sure it's the Big Charm.
Well, one of them. That one you can play, and that'll give you more HP, so you can do more damage output. So this deck is playing 2. So I'm sorry, you're playing one of the Charizard Braixen in this deck, and then there's going to be 2 of the Reshiram Charizard. His second attack is for 3 colorless or 3 fire and 1 colorless. Flare Strike for 230. This Pokemon can't use Flare Strike during your next turn.
That's crazy damage.
That's crazy damage, though. 230 is taking out a lot of stuff. If your opponent has weakness, that's doing twice as much, so that is really, really tough.
Yeah.
But then again, you can only use it for the 1 turn. Now, what you can do is you can retreat out and bring in something else, and then bring it back in with like a switch or something to that extent. That's always a possibility. And then you can use the attack again. Once he goes to the bench and comes back into the active, he's able to attack again with that same ability or that same attack.
Yeah.
So basically when he goes to the bench, he's cleared of all his previous conditions. So that means he can come back out and attack again.
Yeah, so his last attack is his GX move. Double Blaze, GX, 200 damage, and if this Pokemon has at least 3 extra fire energy attached to it... Oh, so it costs 3 fire energy. I forgot to mention that. I apologize.
So that would be 6 altogether.
Yeah. This attack does 100 more damage... 100 more damage, and this attack's damage is in effect by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon.
So it's basically doing 300 damage.
Yeah.
For 6 energy.
And, weak to water, and its retreat cost is 3, same as the Charizard Braixen. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but there now.
Now with 300 damage, it's pretty much taking out almost any Pokemon.
Yeah.
Ooh, Snorlax V Max, maybe.
Magikarp Wailord, is that over 300 or no?
Yeah, it might be right at 300.
Oh, okay.
I know the birds, the
birds are 300
even. So yeah, so that's pretty much taken out just about every Pokemon except some of the new VMAX Pokemon, which have quite a bit more HP than some of the old ones.
It's always something new with Pokemon.
Right. So that's it with the Charizard, Reshiram Charizard and Charizard. It's a cool looking picture. It really is.
Yeah.
You got Reshiram above Charizard, and they are attacking, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm just gonna go over the tag team rule real quick. If it's knocked out, your opponent takes 3 prize cards.
Right. So you don't want your tag teams knocked out.
Yeah.
That's the game right there. So we will move on to our next card.
Ooh, Volcanion.
Or Volcanion.
However you want to say it. It's.
However.
Yeah, I'm not going to be picky about the Volcanion or
Volcanion, mate. Maybe it's from down under again. So the Volcanion is 120 HP, also fire Pokemon. as we can see from our previous two cards, this is a fire deck. Uh, Charizard obviously is a fire Pokemon, so that's why it's a fire deck. It makes sense. So we'll just go over uh, the attacks that Volcanion has. He is number 721, the Stern Pokemon.
That's a Steam.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Man, my glasses are getting worse. Apprentice Small. Yeah, Steam Pokemon. He's a height of 5'7" and a weight of 429.9 pounds. Here we go.
Alrighty. His first attack for 1 fire energy is Flare Starter. So what it does is search your deck for up to a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. If you go second and it's your first turn, instead search for up to 3 fire energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So it's really good. You want to get it your first turn. You want to start with it in active, so you can just use that attack. You want to go second, and then you can get 3 energy cards out right off the bat.
Good deck. Good first attack.
Yeah.
Especially when you're starting the game. It's a really good way to start. Now, if you are the first player, you don't get to attack, so you'll have to wait till your second turn. First player never gets to attack, just the second player.
Yeah.
So then the second attack is for 2 energy. It's called High Heat Blast. It says 50 plus. If you have at least 4 energies in play, this attack does 60 more damage. So you're looking at 110 damage. And with its first ability of putting 3 extra energies on, yeah, 4 energies sounds pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, it's weak to water. Retreat is 2. We run 4 of these.
Right? So that's a good Pokemon to have in your deck, and get ready to get him right out and get him started first. You are playing this deck. You want to play second so that you have this ability in your pocket for your first round, because there will be a lot of cards in this deck that you'll see that'll help you to get to that first card out so that you can attack with it.
Yeah.
So now we'll get into the trainers, because basically we're running 4, 5, 6. We got 7 Pokemon in this deck.
Yeah,
that's it. 7. So once you get that first Pokemon out, hopefully it's the Volcanion, you can start loading up the bench with your GXs and start putting all the energy on them, so that you can just start blasting your opponent with your Volcanion.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it.
So here we are with our first trainer card. Is the Energy Spinner item.
Yeah. So it lets you search your deck for a basic energy card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you go first, you get to search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards, or is it just normal? Basic energy cards. Then shuffle your deck, and you get to put the 3 basic energy cards into your hand. So it's a really helpful card if you get it first turn. Along with that Volcanion, you'll have all the energy that you need, and it's just any energy. I mean, you're only going to be able to get fire energy with this deck, but still 3 energy is better than no energy.
Right, because then you're playing the 3 fire energy from Volcanion, and then you have 3 energy there. You play a supporter. You'll see how that will play out as soon as we get into the next couple cards, to showing how the deck will just build your fire energy real quick, so that you can just do heavy amount of damage quick and not have to worry about doing anything else.
And so we only run 1 of these. So it could be prized, so don't always count on it when you're playing this deck, because that could be your undoing, really, because it could always be prized. And if you play it once, don't expect to have another copy in the deck, because, well, you don't.
We know we only have 1.
Yeah.
If you're playing it later on in the game, you might not need it as much, so it'd be okay to discard it if you need to. That's always a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a required, like.
It's not the end all do all to your deck. Yeah. Really, is what we're looking at. moving on because I think we beat that one down pretty good. The next one is the Fire Crystal, and this will help you out too. This is a little better than the energy spinner because basically the Fire Crystal put 3 fire energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. That'll help you out because you'll be getting rid of energies, and you'll need to get them back, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah, you'll have 3 of your fire energy in your hand, and you'll be ready to go.
Be ready to go. So we play 2 of those in here, so that's great.
Yeah, two fire crystals.
You're talking about getting 6 energies back out of your deck, so that's great. That's going to help you out later on in the game. So that's another thing that we'll talk about once we get there and go over some more of these cards. We're going to move on to the next one.
Alrighty. So next we have the Great Potion. It's also an item. It heal 50 damage from your active Pokemon GX. That's it. Very straightforward.
That's it. We play 2 of these.
Yeah.
3 of our Pokemon are GXs. So
3 out of the 7.
So 3 out of the 7. That means we're going to be healing, 100 damage for 2 Pokemon. Now we can play the same one twice, or we can play that. Not the same one. We can play that card twice in one turn. We have both of them in our hand. We can heal our Pokemon 100 damage, but then that's
basically... You don't got any more.
Yeah, that's it. Then we're done. So it's a great card to use. Use it sparingly as needed so that you don't lose the game. That's probably the best way to go with that. Our next card is another trainer, another item, the Pokegear 3.0.
Ooh.
And this, it's a cool looking card. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a supporter card you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck.
Now, you saw this card in the Raichu deck, and that's because it's a tough card. I feel like it's a staple in a lot of decks, because you always want to get your supporters to either thin your deck or just get your deck moving along at least, It lets you look ahead, even though you shuffle, but, it lets you get the supporter that you need, and out of 7, I think that's a good shot.
And then it helps you know what else is in your deck. So if you're going back into your deck, you can look for the cards you need later on. So that is definitely a great card to have so that you can play your supporters that you need.
We do run 4 of these.
4, so you can play all 4 in one turn. Don't recommend it, but if they're in your hand and you need to play them, play them if you need to.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's what 3.0 does. Pokegear 3.0, great card. A lot of decks played nowadays. It's a very high card in standard rotation. It's seen a lot of play because people need to get their supporters out so they can play them.
Yeah.
Supporter is a main part of the game.
Yeah, it's one of the main game mechanics.
Yeah, you need to be playing a supporter every turn. If we've never said that, you need to be playing one because they'll be keeping your deck and your game alive. So we'll move on to the next card.
The Pokemon Catcher. And what that does, it's an item in flip coin. If heads, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon.
Right. Now we talked about this in the Raichu deck.
Yeah. People, it's played a lot because you want to be able to switch out your opponent's Pokemon when you need to, because if you're not doing enough damage to knock out their active, but you can knock out one of them on the bench, and maybe if it'll even just slow them down a turn or so, and you really need that, then it's good to play because it just...
Right, but it gets the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It could be a game winner, as we've talked about it in the past on previous episodes. You have your Charizard fully powered up, and he can only take one more hit. You flip that coin for bringing someone so you can knock out their Pokemon, take your last 2 prize cards or last 1 prize card. That's what you do.
But don't count on it, because that could always be your undoing.
It's always a coin flip, which is 50-50, of course.
Yeah.
So always want heads.
Yeah, unless it's the beginning of the game.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna move on to the next card because we've talked a lot about the Pokemon Catcher. The next card is the Quick Ball, which is a which is cool. It's a super cool card. It came back to rotation after a long time out of rotation, and now it's back and
Out of retirement.
right out of retirement basically. And you can play the old quick balls with the standard.
Yeah, they didn't change the effect of the quick ball.
Right, so they're considering it the same. So basically, what the quick ball does is you can play this card. You can play this card only if you discard another card from your hand. Okay, so you discard something. That energy spinner might be a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Also, might be a good idea is some of that energy, too. You might want to discard an energy, because we know we got the
fire crystal.
Fire crystals. So, we can see here, this is how these cards are playing together to make your deck work better for you, so that you have the best amount of cards in your hands and the best cards to play.
Yeah, because if you play your 3 great quick balls, which is how many you play, then you discard 3 energy to get your 3 Pokemon out, 3 out of the 7. You can get your 3 energy back with your fire crystal, thereby only losing 1 card to get 3, which, well, excluding the quick balls, that is, but only using 1 card to get 3 Pokemon out. 3 basic Pokemon, which I think is pretty great.
And all your Pokemon in this deck are basic, so you don't have to worry about that. You'll always be able to get one. And that would mean more. That mean if you get used all your quick balls, half of your Pokemon would be on your bench because you only run 7, and you'd have one in the active, and then 3 on the bench. So that would be half of your Pokemon would be out.
Yeah.
So when you're going through and playing something like a Pokegear 3.0, you got a better odds on pulling a supporter for that card because you don't have to go through Pokemon anymore.
Yeah.
Or if you're looking for energy, then you have a better chance of getting that too. So that is a great card. I love the quick ball. You know, the drawback is that you got to discard a card, but for this deck it works.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to the next card.
We also already went over this card before. It is the Reset Stamp. Your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards.
Now, which deck is this in? This is in the
Raichu deck.
This is in the Raichu deck? Okay. And as we mentioned before, it's banned not in standard, it's banned in expanded. So you cannot play it in expanded, but we don't play a whole lot of expanded. So, therefore, it doesn't really
affect us too much.
Yeah. When rotation comes, it'll be out, so we can't play it. So
will it?
Yeah, because it'll go to expanded.
Oh, I didn't know it'd be out with rotation though.
Well, I'm saying when the rotation of this particular set is out.
Oh,
I'm not saying this set is going out next rotation. I'm just saying in rotation in general.
That's where the confusion came in.
Sorry. So that's the Reset Stamp. Since we've already talked about it, we're going to just move on to the next one. This is another card we talked about before. The Switch. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. This is another one. This is what I was talking about earlier on. That if you play that ability of Charizard where you can attack next turn, you can switch it out and then use another switch to bring them back in and then attack again. We only play 3 switches in this deck, so you want to use them kind of sparingly too. But that's the whole point of it. Switch them in, switch them out, so you can win the game.
Yeah, and a lot of these cards are repeats because a lot of them are staples in many decks that are played just in general. I mean, you saw the Switch in the Zacian deck, which was a pre-made deck. You saw the Reset Stamp in the Raichu deck, which is a competitive deck, and same with the Pokemon Catcher, but the Switch really is a staple too in a lot of decks.
Yeah, everybody's playing this Switch because you can get your Pokemon in and out, and your opponent's not going to know what to do against it because they can't do anything. You're switching a Pokemon in, you're switching Pokemon out, you're good to attack again. So
yeah,
I think it's a great card. So we're going to move on to our next card. This is a card we haven't talked about yet.
Tag Call.
It's another item.
Yeah, it lets you search your deck for up to 2 tag team cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck.
Now, 3 of the 7 Pokemon that we play in this deck are tag team Pokemon, so you can get 2 of them out. There
Yeah.
are also tag team trainers. Now, Tag Call will pull out the tag team trainers. So if you do have them in the deck, which we're going to get to those a little later, we'll explain that you can use your Tag Call to pull those out. So this is a great card for this deck for that reason. You might already have your 3 tag teams out because of the quick ball. That way you don't have to use the tag call for that. Now you can use your quick ball just for the Volcanians and just save one of the tag calls for one of the tag team GXs. You know, there's a lot of options here.
Yeah. We do run 2 of the tag call. I think, I mean, I personally don't never played a lot of the tag team trainers. I don't think I ever played tag call. So I think you can just cut back on the great balls really and throw in something that could be more needed. I'll do some experimenting after we're done with this for sure.
The great ball?
The great ball.
That's what you said.
It said the tag call, I thought.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, well, it's only 2 tag calls, so it's not that detrimental.
Yeah.
So, but if you pull 2 Charizard Reshiram because that's what you have, that's what you pull. So, it's a good card for a tag team deck.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
You know, if you're playing a lot of different tag teams, definitely worth playing. So we're gonna move on to the next one, the Giant Hearth. It is a really cool looking, big furnace looking thing. So it's cool. And it's once during each player's turn, that player may discard a card from their hand. If they do, that player searches their deck for up to 2 fire energy cards, reveal them, and put them into their hand. Then the player shuffles their deck.
This is a stadium. And so, now, this just got me thinking. My prediction for what Pokemon is going to do in the next set, they're going to do a burn energy. And when you attach it to your Pokemon, your opponent's active Pokemon will be burned. And then that will probably be included in this deck just to like, annoy your opponents.
Well, it does say fire energy now. It doesn't say basic. So, it kind of gets me thinking. Are you able to pull that with the fire, with the Giant Hearth?
Yeah, that's only if I'm correct about this, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But this is great here because you're discarding. So you discard a fire energy to get 2 energies. You play the fire crystal to get your energy back.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. I mean, you really can't say much about it. This is a stadium card, so it's not an item, so it's going to be sitting out there the whole time. Now your opponent can play it, so that could be a plus or a minus for you, depending if they're playing a fire deck or any kind of fire items, any type of fire energy. That would be the only thing. So, the Giant Hearth.
We run 2.
We run 2. It's a good card for this deck because we're playing a fire deck and we need to get that fire energy in our hand so we can put it onto our Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're going to move along to our next Pokemon. Our next trainer card. And now we're getting into our supporters. Our first supporter is a tag team, which is Cynthia and Caitlin, which is seeing a lot of play, and this is why.
So what it does is put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. You can't choose Cynthia and Caitlin or a card you discarded with the effect of this card. When you play this card, you may discard another card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards.
So this card, you're pulling a supporter that you played. So all the other supporters that we're going to go through, this card will be able to pull it out, except for Cynthia and Caitlin, of course. But any other supporters that we play, which there's a lot of good supporters in this deck, it's going to help us out quite a bit. Now, there is one other catch to this card. You can play it on your when you're first able to play it, to draw 3 more cards and discard a card, even though you don't have a supporter to draw out of the discard. So it is playable
at all times.
At all times, basically, as long as you have something to discard. Now, if it's your only card in your hand, yeah, you really can't play it unless you're just going to get another supporter out of your hand. But then that's your supporter for the turn. You got to wait till next turn, and your opponent might not be happy that you have that card. So that's something to think about. It's a great card. A lot of decks are playing them nowadays, playing this card for the extra draw support and to continue playing, to play more supporters that they can pull back into their hand to replay them. Because you're only allowed to play 4 supporters of one type. So once you played it, the only way to get it back is if you have Cynthia and Caitlin.
Or some other card.
There might be there's probably a few other cards out there, but this will be for this deck in particular. This is how you're going to get that back.
Alrighty. We do run 2.
We run 2, yep. Now, like the card said, you can't pull Cynthia and Caitlin back out. So, and if you discard one of your other supporters, you can't pull that out either. So, if you discard it that turn. So, we're going to move along to our next card, which is Green's Explorer. Green's Exploration. Another supporter.
Yeah. What it does is you can play this card only if you have no Pokemon with abilities in play. And what it does is it lets you search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Now, this card, it's seen quite a bit of play, but that's only in decks without any abilities. And some decks really rely on abilities, so it wouldn't work in others. But I honestly think it's a pretty tough card because it lets you search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards. So
get whatever you want.
Yeah.
So if you need energy, get a card that's going to let you get energy. If you need a Pokemon, get a card that'll let you get Pokemon. The Quick Ball, the Tag Call. These are the cards that you need to get you the trainers that you need. Now, what we're talking about abilities is in our Raichu deck, the Raichu or the
Emolga.
The Emolga had abilities, so that would turn Green's Explorer. You can't play it. So that's why this works good in this deck, because we have nothing but basic Pokemon, no abilities, just straight attackers.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at. So this is a great card because you can pull whatever you want.
Yeah. So next up we have it's another tag team. It's Malolana.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So you could pull this one with the tag call. That's not a problem.
Yeah. It is a supporter, and what it does is you switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and then it also says when you play this card, you may discard 2 other cards from your hand. If you do, heal 120 damage from the Pokemon you move to your bench.
Right, so we're playing this card. We discard 2 energy that we have in our hand. We bring back our Charizard Reshiram, and heal him 120 damage, and then we use our switch and bring him back in. We pull out a couple extra energy so we can do some more damage to him. I mean, this deck is going to work perfectly. I mean, there's so much flow into this deck. It's crazy. Just showing you how that would play out. So you'd be able to switch them in and out and use your supporter to retreat and heal so that your guy is ready to do more damage.
Yeah. So, we do run 2 of the Malolana. They are, as I said before, they are tag teams.
Now, are those commons or uncommon?
They're uncommon.
Okay, so they're uncommon. Okay.
Yeah. I think they're good card. It's a good card. I mean, it could be annoying at times to your opponent, but
I think most of the stuff in this deck is common, except for the Reshiram Charizard. Man, I don't know. I keep saying that. and the Charizard Braxian. Those are the only ones that are rares.
Charizard, Charizard.
Charizard, Reshiram.
Well, I mean, I think they're ultra rares, and the Volcanion is the rare, I believe.
Is the Volcanion rare? Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's take a look here. Volcanion is rare. So yeah, Volcanion is rare too. So yeah, all your Pokemon are rare or ultra rare, and the Malo and Lana are just uncommon.
Yeah, so all the trainers are pretty much common or uncommon.
Right? Except for this next one that we're going to talk about,
Of
which
course.
is which is Professor's Research, which is another supporter, also Professor Magnolia.
We've
is
seen
what
this
it's called.
before.
Right? We've seen this card before. For all you older Pokemon players, this is Professor Oak, basically.
Yeah.
Discard your hand and draw 7 cards.
Or Professor Juniper, or Professor Sycamore.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of professors that have done this. So now we're on to Professor Magnolia, another tree professor that is going to be our new discard and draw 7 cards. So that's all I got to say about that one. We play 3 in this deck, so that would be something that you want to think about when you're playing your Caitlyn and Cynthia and Caitlyn card. Pull out the Professor's Research to hold in your hand if that's what you want to do. It's totally up to you.
It's always a tough card.
Yeah, so and that's something that your opponent might see. You play Cynthia and Caitlyn and just get your Professor's Research out and you're just holding the one card. Well, they know what you're doing next turn.
Yeah.
It's pretty well given. So that you want to try to avoid doing stuff like that. But like Nick said, this is a tough card. You're getting a whole new hand, and you're going to do a whole bunch of new stuff, getting a whole bunch more energy.
Yeah.
Do a whole bunch more attacking. So, it's really one of the more powerful cards in the set, if not in the deck. Everybody's playing it. It's a pretty standard card to play.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you got anything else to say about this one?
Nah, I don't think so. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't think that it was a rare though.
Yeah, rare. So now we're on to one of the other cards that is being played a lot and is being played in a lot of decks, which is Welder. And Welder is attached to fire energies from your hand to one of your Pokemon. If you do, draw 3 cards. Now
this card is the win-win of win-wins, if you ask me.
Right? The win-wins of win-wins?
Yeah, because you get to attach free energy and draw extra cards. I don't see how you could go wrong with that.
Right? So, it's a win-win of win-wins. So,
yeah.
It's one of your supporters that everybody plays. It's great in basic decks. It's great in decks that only need one of a color, and then the rest can be any color. If your Pokemon only needs one psychic energy, and then you can play Welder and put fire energy on top of them. Man, it really gets decks going real quick.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Welder is, really, Welder's a girl. So
yeah,
because as we look at Welder as a card,
you can't tell.
You can't tell, but then they show the full art one, and it's definitely a girl.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. You wouldn't know otherwise, but Welder is a girl. So we play 4 in this deck, which is great. It's a great card. We love playing it. Everybody loves to play it in almost every deck.
Yeah.
And then our last card before we get to our energy is an item card, which is the Vitality Band. It is a Pokemon tool. And I don't know if we've really talked about tools too much, but the rule of the tool is attach a tool to one of your...
The rule of the tool.
The rule of the tool. Yeah. Attach a Pokemon tool to one of your Pokemon that doesn't already have a Pokemon tool attached.
That's a good one.
Well, I mean, what else do you say? It's the rule of the tool.
Yeah.
The Pokemon. That's what the Pokemon people say.
Yeah.
So what this card does, the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So you're basically doing an extra 10 damage.
Yeah.
So that's helping knocking some stuff out. But you're only playing one. You're only playing one on a Pokemon at a time.
Yeah.
You have 7 Pokemon, so play it wise.
6.
You get 7 Pokemon.
Oh, I thought you meant like out.
No, you only have 7 Pokemon total.
Yeah, I know.
So play it wisely. You only have 2 of these Vitality Bands. So,
Yeah.
but like Nick said, you can only have 6 on your board. So all your Pokemon can basically be out except for 1.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at. This deck is really going to run fast.
It's a good buy.
It's definitely a good buy. You're talking about 12 energies for this deck, and looking at Amazon, they're selling it right now for $24. So buy it for your dad for Father's Day.
He'll love it.
Yeah, he'll love playing. Then you can get the one that goes against them, which is the Pikachu Zekrom League Battle deck. So those two, you guys go one-on-one against each other. See who wins more battles. Let us know. This is a great deck. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with these Battle League decks. So we're just going to go over some other stuff that's in the Battle League box. You get a set of dice.
7 dice. Now these are the newer dice, which I don't really care for with the numbers on it. That ranges from, let's see, so 10 through 60, and then 70 through 120, and then I think there's one that's 130 through 180. Yeah, 130 through 180. I'm not a fan. And then they have one rolling dice, which is see-through, and that's just a normal dice with 1 through 6 on it.
It's orange. Come on, it's not normal. It's orange.
It's orange, yeah. I mean,
it's translucent. It's not see-through.
Isn't that the same thing?
I don't know. I would say It is see-through translucent.
There you go.
Orange.
Yeah, orange. It's not an ugly orange, luckily. It's a aesthetically pleasing orange.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then it comes with, it also comes with the poison counter and the burn counter, which you would use if you were poisoned or burned. And it also comes with a GX tag team, what is it?
GX counter.
A GX counter. So it means that you when you do your GX move, you flip over to GX counter to say you've done your GX move. It comes with a nice little battle box, league battle box deck, which is nice.
A GX counter is not required to use a GX move.
Right? So, with that being said, the only other thing is it comes with the paper that says about the other deck that it goes against, which is the Pikachu Zekrom GX deck, which we don't have.
Well, are all those cards in the Pikachu Zekrom deck?
But it shows some of the cards that are in the Pikachu Zekrom deck, which is Pikachu Zekrom, Alolan Raichu and regular Raichu, Jirachi, Tapu Koko, and what is that last one? Electros?
Yeah.
So, that might be a real good deck too. Maybe at some point we'll pick that one up and see what it looks like and maybe review that.
Yeah. And, so, I was thinking, if you wanted to see it, we could record us playing the game. So if you want to see that, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we'd love to do something like that too. Sure.
And we could do it maybe once a week. And also, if you have any suggestions for us, leave it in the comments, because we love to hear what you guys think about what we should do.
Yeah, we're definitely check us out on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Well, we might not be on SoundCloud because we don't have the dinero for like Go Plus, and so they gave you a limit on SoundCloud.
Oh, we only got a limit on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna hold tight and just stay with YouTube for now until we get enough followers and enough listeners. And once our listening core grows, maybe we'll extend where we go. But for right now, this is Dan.
And this is Nick, and this was Happy Vanas Pokemon.
Have a good one.